One song I want to highlight off of the album, right, was Modern Day Future. The song came out in 2010, and I'm sure you recorded it a little while before then.
Oh, yeah, I recorded that like
ahead of your time.
06.
Yeah.
07 maybe.
The intro, you got a quote from George Carlin, and he says, basically, like, the government doesn't give a fuck about you and everything. You know what I mean? All it cares about is its own power, right?
Yeah.
What made you write that song at that time?
I mean, it was just kind of in the air, man. That was post 9/11.
Bush.
Me and Tech. Yeah. It was like 9/11 kind of like me and Tech, we bonded because we were both on some Illuminati, the government is full of shit. We were always connected over that. We definitely talked a lot of politics on the side and talked about crazy conspiracy stuff. Yeah, that type of stuff. So, I kind of felt obligated to kind of touch on those things a little bit because, I'm coming out under the Viper umbrella. People kind of, I got a lot of Immortal Technique fans are now my fans. So they're into that shit. So it would be a no-brainer not to share my thoughts on it. And like we did a lot of 9/11 truth movement type shit with, as funny as it is, Alex Jones was involved back then. This dude, Luke Rutkowski from We Are Change, who's still active, doing stuff with like Tim Pool nowadays. They still do the political stuff. But we were doing like events at NYU and this was a big deal. People thought 9/11 was some bullshit. Like we didn't know exactly what went down, but there was a lot of theories, There was those little videos.
Something wasn't right.
Well, there was little fucking framed videos from a gas station across the street from the Pentagon where it's clearly not a plane. That shit is a fucking missile. You know what I mean? Like we knew some shit was totally bogus. So like it's, I wanted to, I was still in the mindset that I could change the world. Like I was delusional, whereas now I'm old and I'm like, yeah, you ain't changing shit. Good luck. You know what I mean? I still like to speak the truth and share my thoughts, but I used to believe like, oh, we got a chance. We could do something. We could like make an impact. You still have that like kind of naive mindset. At least I think it's naive, but maybe I'm just jaded and old now. But yeah, that's kind of what went into it. I got the beat. Engineer sent me the beat and I came up with this idea. And I knew Deadly Hunter through this dude Mist that I fucked with in London. Because that's where Deadly Hunter's from. And
but he kills it.
Yeah, he fucking murdered it.
Yeah.
And I had sent it with the verses and, left it open. Then I just basically was like, do whatever. Do whatever you want.
He wrote the chorus?
Yeah, that's all him. How am I going to write that shit? He's out there harmonizing shit. What am I going to do with that? Jamaican fucking British guy.
Send like a little reference track,
Yeah, not for something like that. Like, I wrote one of the Black McCloud choruses where he harmonizes it for me because he knows what he's doing. But like, that's just little basic raps, that he's harmonizing. Dude, that's like he's singing and shit. I ain't doing that.
Well,
I said, do whatever you want. And then I re-recorded the verses to like tighten it up with his shit. And you had it. I was like, oh shit.
Because it's crazy what he's saying in the chorus, right? Where he said, witness the modern day slavery, forget the chain. I ripped them full of shit. They want to tag you with the microchip. And it's just like, when you think about that, how has that song aged to today, with everything?
I mean, see, this is the crazy part. Like, we were on that shit back then.
Right, but that's like what I'm saying, though.
It's like, and RFID and all that shit. This is all stuff we were aware of and would speak about, but this is why I'm kind of jaded and thinking it's naive to change things, because it's like, yo, dude, we were talking about this shit and sharing it and discussing it at shows and putting it in songs 20 fucking years ago. And now people are doing, reels on Instagram acting like it's some new, oh, get this. Dude, this is old fucking news, man. We've tried warning you people. That's the way I look at it. Like, we tried to warn you. And while some people got it, it's hard to have political power, so it's difficult. But the song came out fucking great. I love it.
you were talking about it obviously nearly 20 years ago, because you said you recorded like 2006 or whatever, right?
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah.
so like, how was it received when it came out? Like, do you feel like people were like, oh, another conspiracy theorist rapper kind of situation, or what?
Um, I don't know. I don't know what. I mean, my fans seem to like it. You know, like the people that fuck with me, they seem to love it. You know, it does well to this day.
Because it's probably more relevant than ever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It does well. I don't know. I'm sure some people said that, I would think. But then again, it got me labeled as a political rapper, which is crazy. You know, like I used to see articles, and even now, like which is, articles don't exist as much, but like when they did a few years ago, it would say political rapper, Diabolic, known for this. And it's like political rapper. I did like 4 or 5 political joints ever. You know what I'm saying? Everything else was just me going off or
right,
talking wild
they had
shit.
you on an interview.
Oh yeah,
political
RT.
rapper.
Yeah, well, that was RT. That was Russia TV. They were always looking for content. That was my boy Semp, who did the PR for us back then, hooked up, which was actually pretty cool in retrospect. Like that was on Able TV and shit, which was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was interesting. I didn't know what I was walking into. That was at like 9:30 in the morning on a rainy day.
When doing research for this interview, I saw a Reddit post that debated whether or not you and Apathy were Trump supporters. And they were like really critical of you guys, saying like, oh, we used to be fans of these guys' music, basically, and yada yada and stuff like that. Like, how do you feel about when you see things like that now?
What, like people like, I think they're fucking cornballs. Like, why do you care? Like, what does it matter? I think Trump was all right. I think some of the things he does is fucking ridiculous, but I think he's good for the pockets most of the time. I don't know. It's time to grow up. Stop thinking people have to believe the same politics or religion as other people, if that makes sense. Like the world got very polarized since 2016. You know what I'm saying? Like it's become fucking ridiculous. Like the thing about it is my politics never changed. Like people assumed I was some leftist. I was a freedom guy. I'm about liberty. Like I'm about the government getting out of my fucking wallet, leaving me alone, not surveilling me. I'm not into government programs, never have been. You guys can, people can assume that because I was friends with Technique. He's more of a lefty, he always has been. He's bordering on a communist. But like, what does that got to do with me? I was just there because I fuck with my friend. I want to see him do well. And when people need help, I don't care if they're leftist, right wing. I don't really give a fuck, personally. I just knew people needed help. Like, yeah.
So you don't have any issues of being friends with people that have different political views than you, or working with people that have different political views?
Not at all, unless they're fucking dickheads like a lot of people can be these days, where they're like, you believe this, why would you do it? You know what I'm talking about. Fucking Karens of the world and the real, judgy types. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. If you're cool, we can talk about it. I can have an adult conversation about politics with you.
Right.
We might not agree. I might make you look fucking stupid. I doubt a leftist is going to make me look stupid, because the truth really isn't on their side, because that shit don't work. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't work. It's been tried. I understand it sounds good. All these things sound good. That's why they don't like Trump, because he tells you what needs to be done sometimes. Unfortunately, some of it's necessary. Some of it, I think, is going overboard, but like some of it is necessary. And people don't like to hear that. And they don't like to admit they're wrong, especially politically. They will die lying to themselves before they admit, like, oh, I might have had that wrong. Because I used to be a leftist. Everybody did when you're like 20. But if you're still like hard body, far left politics and you're 40 years old, I feel like you might be either rich or fucking retarded. It's one of two things. You're either wealthy or retarded.
Because you were in music and you made songs that might have like echoed some of those views and stuff like that, that people, because they're like, I see some of the comments, they're like, this is the guy that used to believe this, and then now he's over there.
Used to believe what, though? Like, what did I believe? That George Bush was an asshole? I was right.
No, that the government was out to get you and yada yada. And
they're
like,
a lot of times,
yeah, they're like, now he's over there on Trump's side, or
well, I mean,
you know, like,
okay. Here's my defense to that. To them, they choose not to see reality. Trump didn't do his agenda, right? And this is just me looking at it objectively. He didn't institute his agenda by doing more government. He instituted his agenda by rolling government backwards from your life. So how did my politics change? He doesn't do more government. He did less taxes. People are like, oh, well, he's giving less taxes to corporations. So what? Less government. I don't care. I don't care. I don't do this evil corporation shit. Corporations are made of people. Some are more evil morally than others. Yet they're built by people, and people make money off them and work for them. That is your fucking paycheck. People got less taxes over the past, however many years he's been involved. They paid less taxes. He's done less government. He's done less fucking restrictions on business. He's done less restrictions on EPA. And, they look at it like, oh, he's a tyrant. How are you a tyrant by rolling back government regulation? Isn't that the idea of being free? Less government in your life? I just don't understand how my politics have changed. My politics haven't changed at all. I want less government. If I had it my way, there would be like a 95% cut in government. Employees, the size of it would be 95% smaller. But I can't have it my way. So you take the little things. Now, do I think that guy's going to fix the world? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But it's, I'm also not for socialism in the United States at all. We're already a socialist country in a lot of ways. I'm not for it. It does not fucking work, no matter how people want to spin it. With the things they say, pay your fair share. What is that? Who determines that? Because not for nothing, you live in New York State and you fucking make, I don't know, a couple $100,000. You're paying like damn near 50% in taxes if you're not, slick with how you do your taxes. You're paying with federal and state income tax, and in California, in these states, like, you're losing like half your fucking money. Now you tell, all right, how's that fair? How is it fair that you work every day and half of it goes to the government to fucking waste on whatever they deem a good idea? Because I don't think these people have any fucking clue what works. I think they're corrupt. I think they're padding their pockets, and the more of them there are, and I don't want to deal with it.
How much of the criticism do you think comes from you being in a black art form of hip hop as a white rapper and you vocalizing some good things that you see that you believe Trump is doing,
right,
and people view him as a racist or something like that? Like, how much do you think of the criticism comes from that?
It's fucking ridiculous. That's just nonsense. That's like made up. Trump's a racist. Okay, how? What's he doing? That's just something they say. Because Democrats, that's what they do. You see, people aren't old enough to remember or do their homework to find out. But they've done this with every Republican candidate for government ever. Ronald Reagan was called a Nazi. Every single one of them is. It's just what they do. At least since the 80s, this is what they do. Oh, you see, they're going to put you back in chains and all this shit. Really? That's hilarious because, if I'm not mistaken, Rob, what's his name? Byrd, the senator who was Hillary Clinton's mentor, was part of the KKK, and Obama spoke at his fucking funeral. Like, you're going to talk about who's racist? These are members of the fucking KKK. The KKK was a Democrat organization. Like, do your homework a little bit. That's just made up nonsense. It's just nonsense. Hip hop shares a hive mind. So, like, when I make decisions, right, especially geared towards hip hop, number one, I don't give a fuck how it's going to look to people. Number two, when everybody's saying a thing, especially about politics, I tend to go the other way because they're going to be fucking wrong and stupid. Just generally in hip hop. They're the biggest trend whores in entertainment. Hip hop in particular. It might sound disrespectful to the quote unquote culture, which isn't even a fucking thing. It died years ago if it even existed in the first place. But fucking, It's just a made up talking point. It is. It's all just a made up talking point. And that everyone tends to follow. They're trend whore fucking idiots. That's really what it comes down to. Even the thing saying, oh, this is a black art form and this and that. Like, not anymore. You know, it might have started out like that. But like everything else that gets to the masses, it becomes everybody's art form. That's how art works. You know what I'm saying? That's how anything you invent works. Like, hip hop's always this, like, kind of protected, you know, you have to fucking honor this thing. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Get out of here. It's like, that's like saying black people have to honor classical music because of Mozart. Like, that's just fucking ridiculous. It's kind of an annoying thing that people tolerate and deal with, and nobody says this is fucking nonsense. You know, like, I don't know. It just seems stupid. We live in this racialized world, though, which people perpetuate for money and clicks, so it's going to be there regardless. That's my opinion. That's my personal opinion on it, but whatever.
Okay, so I saw you say something about Malcolm X said to be careful of the liberal white people, the people that are
yeah. The white liberal.
Right. So the one that gets more angry than the minority, basically.
No, they pretend to be the white saviors. They're here to help. They're here to save you. Like, I don't know. I've always looked at it like black people don't need me to save them. They're fine. You know what I mean? I'm a liberty guy. Leave them alone. How about this? Stop bothering them. Stop treating them and infantilizing black people in the black community like as if, I don't know, they need a bunch of fucking, I mean, let's talk about what racism is. And the white liberal and Democrats in particular, they sit there and they talk about black people like they just need a handout. They need their help. Oh, they're not doing good. Like, do you people, what do you think, they're too stupid to pay their fucking phone bill? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Why would I think that me as a white man need to save the blacks? That would be racist to think that. Like, that would be straight up racist. Me saying, I'm not doing shit for you because you don't need my help. I mean, unless I know you, I'll help you. But I'm not going to determine and base that on whether you're black, white, Puerto Rican, Asian. I don't give a fuck. You know, like, why would anybody treat people like that? I feel like that perpetuates stereotypes and bullshit that has existed far too long already.
Are you a person that believes in systemic racism and how, like, there were programs that were put into place to basically hold black people back or hold back minorities in general?
No, not anymore. It existed once. Not anymore. Doesn't exist anymore. That's just.
So you genuinely don't think that the liberals that you're referring to, they're doing it from a good place of, like?
No, I don't. I mean, I think the common person is doing it from a good place, but
okay,
the politicians, no. This is controlling of voting blocks, man, and it's working. Systemically, like, point to a law, show me what you're talking about. Then people will be like, yeah, but it was historically and redlining and da-da-da-da-da. There's questions about all that shit, but that shit don't exist no more, man. It hasn't existed in my lifetime. It hasn't. It's just not there. You know, like, there's opportunity. We live in America, man. Like, let's be serious. Okay, well, historically, you have this and that. White people have this. Yo, I didn't have generational wealth. Nobody I know has generational wealth. You know, we weren't left a slave house that was worth $2 million and a whole bunch of gold in a cabinet for all the slaves we sold. You know, like, my family didn't own that shit. You know, the furthest back they could trace my family is to some broke Irish potato farmers in the fucking late 1600s in Western Pennsylvania. You know, like, they didn't have that shit. So, you know, systemically, that shit died. That shit died in the 60s, really, into the 70s. I'm sure there's some bleed off of it, of course. And there's going to be growing pains, which they are perpetuating to this day, which people could have moved on from, but they just want to keep going with it because it's a very lucrative grift. In my mind, that's what I see.
How thin of a line do you think it is of what you're saying about just leave the black people alone versus wanting to be an ally?
I mean, come on, bro. These are all fucking silly words. These are buzzwords. I'm an ally. Are you an ally to the black people? Are you an ally to the LGBTQ? No, I don't know what that means. None of these are real communities, man. Like, not every black person is every other black person. Not every white person is every other white person.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Not every Puerto Rican person is every other Puerto Rican person. You know what I'm saying? I don't get, any benefits. Okay, I don't know, Thomas Edison with the light bulb. Oh, cool, man. Should I take credit for that because I'm white? A white guy did the fucking light bulb. Like, it just seems absurd to me. The whole idea of it. I'm an ally to this community. I'm not against anybody. Like, I don't know what the fuck everybody else is doing. But, these are all buzzwords. That's Marxist, communist nonsense. That's what that is. It comes from the schools. It's created in the intersectionality and all these fucking things. It's activist talk. And I have a lot of experience in that world, which is why I got away from that world, because I could see how delusional and fucking deranged it is. Like, you got a lot of it comes from intersectional feminism, and it's fucking silly. It's stupid. It's not productive. It's not progressive, as they like to call themselves. It's fucking regressive. And all it does is make people say, oh, this happened in 1951. What about this time? We need to worry about this. Why does a fucking 17-year-old black kid in 2025, right, need to sit there and be reminded that at one point, people that looked like him were treated like shit? Why does he need to be reminded of this every fucking day in 2025 in America? Why? Does he not have opportunities to go work at Target? Does he not have an opportunity to go to high school and go to college and shit? I know it's hard. Sometimes that shit's expensive. It's hard for everybody. But does he not have these opportunities? Sure, he does. So why are you telling him about what his ancestors may or may not have gone through 200 fucking years ago and being like, all right, you better fucking get on that and remind others and the intersectionality and the whatever fucking buzzword for the day? Why would any of that matter now? Why? It's all it is bad for the psyche of a kid coming up. Now imagine you got, all right, you're a fucking young 15-year-old kid who gets on that shit, right? You get onto the like woke, everybody's shitting on black people, woke narratives that they like to perpetuate these days, right? How does that benefit somebody? How does that benefit the psyche? That must be fucking terrible. Have everybody around you trying to say you either need to be coddled and helped or be pissed off about what didn't happen to you. That can't be good for the psyche, that there's a white boogeyman out there holding you down from the beyond, from the ether. They're holding you down. I'm more of the football coach mentality where I'm like, yo, all right, there's something in your way. Run the fuck through it. Don't take no for an answer and go get yours. And if you take that on and you work hard, you'll probably succeed. Most people do.
So do you think that that's the real issue then, that has been designed to hold back black people, is that reminder, that constant, narrative of...
I think that's a part of it. And I think it comes from the Democratic Party heavily. I know they like to say, oh, the Republicans are racist and this and that. Yeah, I don't think so. All the major cities, population centers where most black people are and most minorities are run with supermajorities of Democrats. And it is a narrative they perpetuate to keep people voting for them and to keep them in power. And it does nothing but benefit the people with the power. And that's what it's there for. It's not from some racist boogeyman trying to hold you down. It is from politicians that have figured out this is a good tactic to keep a block of voters voting a certain way. And that's all it is.
How much of Hollywood do you think plays into that in regards to every few years there's a movie about slavery or a movie about this white person helping a black athlete or something like that? Like,
it's like clockwork, dude. It's like clockwork. It's always been, you know? It's like, what was the movie with Sandra Bullock and the kid who played for the Ravens?
Blindside.
Yeah, Blindside. Perfect example. I'm sure it wasn't as fucking sweet and innocent as they like to make it seem. Oh, the white lady came. Okay, Michael, this is your family. This white family comes and saves them and
he
shit.
ends up suing them, though.
Right.
The real story, he ended up suing that family.
And what happened? Why? Why did he sue them? Let's see this.
I don't remember the details. I just know that's what happened in that regard. So to your point, that it wasn't as perfect as the movie's making it out to be.
It never is. The movie's making it seem like, oh, look, the white people will come fucking save you. We need these whites. See? It's just a fucking mind fuck from the top, man. You know, some people will call it the Illuminati, for lack of a better term. I don't even know if that shit exists. It's just a description of a cabal of powerful people who keep their agenda pushed to keep certain people in certain areas and certain blocks of voting and keeping them in power so they can basically secure their pockets, their power. Maybe there's a devil worshipping aspect. Maybe the devil's real. I don't fucking know. None of that. But I know it definitely goes back to voting and keeping people in check when it comes to that. And not for nothing, it's working. And it started long before the civil rights movement. People don't realize that. Black people used to vote Republican, and then the fucking Great Depression happened. It happened with FDR when everybody got desperate. And it's perpetuated ever since.
What do you think about the newer niche of hip hop of white rappers that people are deeming as MAGA rappers because they rap about politics and some more conservative things? They might come from more conservative areas of the country, like Florida or something like that.
I'm not really aware of that. I've only seen like one dude that I can think of, and he's black. I forget his name.
Who?
Yeah, I forget his name. He's a black dude. He's pretty big.
Dax?
No. It's it. I can't remember the fucking name. I'm not gonna think of it. It's like it's his real name though. It's the kid's real name. Something Gray, maybe. I want to say Bryson Gray. I want to say, but Bryson something. That's the only one I'm even aware of that I've seen like kind of pop up on YouTube. No, I don't really. Is there a movement of white boys? Is there?
You've never seen like Tom McDonald or like Adam Calhoun or those type?
I don't know who Adam Calhoun is. I think I've heard the name, but I don't really know. Tom McDonald, yeah. I mean, isn't he Canadian though?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so I mean,
but I'm just saying that I'm not trying to single him out. I'm just saying that there seems to be a niche now that people talk about in particular and try to classify people into, you know, in that regard.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't care less. It's not my cup of tea. I feel like if you hitch your wagon to that, it's going to end eventually. Tom McDonald, it seems to work for, but you know, it'll work for one. He's also very good at marketing, it appears, you know, and putting out quality material that goes a long fucking way. Not quality music material, but visually appealing and good quality, you know, sonically.
Well, that's his girlfriend that is the person that shoots all his videos and everything like that. So, but yeah, they do have a good
They do it very professional. It comes off like a major label release is what I mean. Yeah, I mean, to each his own, man. That's not my cup of tea, you know? It's not really where type of shit I would be listening to. I guess apparently it has a huge following because he's doing bigger numbers than anybody I know.
Right. But the reason why I bring up something like that is because I know what we just spoke about. The internet will run with it and be like, oh, he belongs over there with those type of guys. You know what I mean? Because of his beliefs or something like that. So that's why I wanted to see like how you feel about that. But
I don't. That's fucking absurd. I'm not making Donald Trump music. He doesn't need me as a fucking cheerleader. There's some. I'm an old man when it comes to politics. See, these fucking kids do meme politics now. You know, like I know things. You know, I read books. I've forgotten more about politics than all these fucking kids know put together. You know, it's like I've just gotten to the point where it's like it got to the point with Obama going into the Trump era where people were fucking blatantly full of shit and the media was obviously lying a lot about what Trump was doing. Now, agree with his politics or not, that's he's not really doing anything extreme in reality. Like, it's presented as though he is. You know, the deportations, for example, they're presented to look a certain way. But if you look at the fucking numbers, they're literally no different than Biden or Obama. It's the fucking status quo made to look fucking worse. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And people like to make it a very, very personal thing, which I understand that's politics. And we live in a visually geared world now with the phones and the computer world that we live in. So people see things and it's easy to tug on the heartstrings. But, you know, that's just a financial thing. Like, as far as when I read into it, what Trump and them are doing ain't because people don't hate brown people. It's motherfuckers can't afford this shit no more. That's what it comes down to. That's where people are. They're like, yo, I can't pay for other people anymore because I can barely afford groceries and rent. And, you know, maybe it's demonizing people. Maybe there's some fucking truth to it, that the economy's fucked up and this is a way to improve it. I don't fucking know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the one making the decisions. But on an international stage, I feel like Trump has crushed it. And I feel like foreign policy was very necessary to address now. You know,
so you think the tariffs were good?
It remains to be seen. You know, like, I think it's definitely leveled the playing field a little bit. I think we got to see how it plays out, see what deals are cut. But a lot of the deals seem to be good. We're getting a lot of investment back into the country. We'll see how it fucking works. But I know for a fucking fact, printing money repeatedly every fucking time, which they continue to do, and until they reel that shit in, we're fucked no matter what they do. I feel like it's a Band-Aid, you know, bringing the investment in and stuff like that, forcing other countries to allow us to make money. You know, we're not everybody's fucking piggy bank so they can do socialist shit. You know what I mean? Because socialism works if you got a piggy bank. Who's our fucking piggy bank? You know what I'm saying? Canada gets away with it because they have the biggest piggy bank in the world to tap into and tariff the fuck out of us. Seems like tariffs work for them, right? But, you know, that's neither here nor there. It's not even that serious. When people talk about it, right? Like, people like to make it their whole life, though, which is where politics has lost me a little bit. I used to post about my opinions on things, and it just got progressively more fucking argumentative, and I got caught up in it where I'm arguing with people, talking shit. And then I just stopped because I was like, yeah, this is just not doing any good, really. Like, it's just us all waxing on poetically on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok about how this one's wrong and this one's a fucking asshole and this one's a communist and this one's a fucking dickhead and this one's a Nazi and this one's this. And it's gotten us nowhere but further apart from each other trying to actually solve a fucking problem. So
do you think that both sides are the problem, the bipartisan system?
I don't know about the bipartisan system. It used to be a little closer the way people thought. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that, you know, cell phones and social media broke the world and we're fucked regardless as far as getting along, you know.
It's a lot of rage baiting.
Yeah, I don't think I was supposed to know necessarily, you know, the random thought of X man or woman in Boise, Idaho at 2:30 in the morning on Facebook so I could get annoyed by them. I don't necessarily think that's a good thing. I don't think I was supposed to know what Jane Doe from fucking Thailand had to say about Donald Trump or about Joe Biden or about fucking hip hop for that matter. I don't really think I was supposed to know what dickhead number 2 thinks about my verse on this feature I did for $500. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not supposed to know this. It's not supposed to be a concern of people. I'm not supposed to, like, Twitter. I used to engage in it a little bit. And, like, everybody's out there, you come off there, oh, yeah, I told that fucking guy. Who is that fucking guy? You know what I mean? Who is he? What does it matter if you told that fucking guy? You know what I'm saying?
So we placed a lot of value on other people's opinions that we don't know, we've never seen face to face, and also it's brought into question a lot more of, like, in regards to celebrities, like, people started to care, like, what does this celebrity think about things politically? Like, who do they believe in? Who do they side with, or something like that? Like,
it's become religious. It's become religious. It's turned into a fucking religion. And it's not religions that are friendly towards each other. That's what it comes down to. It's not like, oh, you're like, you know, I don't know, Catholic and I'm Lutheran, you know, like where you're, oh, I'm cool. We're pretty much the same, different churches, but you know, we're cool. You know, like we're good. It's not like that. It's Muslim versus Jew holy war 2,100 years ago, you know, or whatever, 1,700 crusades, or the Christians versus the Muslim crusade. Fucking boom. That's where we're at right now when it comes to people's politics. And it's fucking crazy. It's gotten insane. Like people have lost friends over it.
Right.
You think Trump's cool? Well, you believe bullshit, so your opinions are like really null and void. I thought some of the things he was doing was pretty good. I don't know. I'm not praying to the fucking guy. You know what I mean? I'm not rocking MAGA hats. You know, I'm not at rallies. I'm not door knocking, you know?
So
but,
I mean, like, I'm not gonna pretend that I'm like a politic like expert or anything like that. You know, I do realize that social media can be an issue with misinformation of how things are presented from either side. And I just wanted, because I saw what people were saying about you, and I wanted to be able to present
on Reddit. I mean, Reddit's a cesspool. That's a perfect example of what I mean. It's a cesspool of people like just, you know, echo chambering their fucking thoughts with people who want to hate on something. It's a cesspool.
Right. But I just wanted to be able to provide you with the safe space for you to really share like how you feel in regards to those type of topics. You know what I mean?
I mean,
so that people won't have it confused.
Yeah, I don't care what they think. I'm going to just do, my opinion could change tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's that simple. Like, I don't have a political belief system. Like when people say, what are your political beliefs? I don't have them. It's a fluid. It's fluid, like people's genders have become. You know what I mean? It's like that. Like, I don't agree with your crazy shit on far left shit. I definitely don't. I'm never going to. You're never going to get me. You know, like, it's crazy. Some of it's insane. You know, like, I'm not going to get into it, but some of it's just fucking nuts. And it's like anything goes. And I'm like, come on, man. You know, but, and there's things I'm aware of and schools of thought that are used politically in the Marxist, hardcore leftist world, like, you know, social norms and, as they call it, constructs. They want to break all these things down, like boys and girls. They want boys and girls not to exist because it's a social norm that's accepted. And then they go to gender roles. These are all tactics used on that side of the political spectrum, so to speak. Sometimes, not always, but like it's used because breaking down the social norm is how they box people up and put them into categories together. It's I don't think half these people even know about this shit. Talking about it, we could go on for fucking days about it, but it's like I'm so dialed out of it at this point. I don't care, man.
Right.
I don't give a fuck.
Let's move on from that.
Yeah, it's like I could ramble about it because I have a lot of thoughts on it if I really think about it. But like they start firing in my head in circles. You can't even get your mouth moving fast enough to get out the point you really want to make. And the point I really want to make on it is, number one, fuck those people talking shit, because it'll always be like that. But number two, I don't give a fuck. I really don't care. I don't want to pay more taxes for other people to get free money. I don't want to do that. That I am pretty strict on. I don't want to pay any taxes for that matter. I think my fair share is fuck you. Stay out of my pocket, you know? Like, income tax didn't exist and people got by, you know, at one point. So that's where I'm at with that. Kind of libertarian-ish, but more of a fuck you, leave me alone-ist, so to speak, you know? So kind of, leave me alone-ist, stay out of my fucking business type of guy.